Hello. If you want to know what a good outcome is for anyone with special educational needs, regardless of who they are and when, then keep watching. This is one for you. My name's Sarah Jane Critchley. I'm the author of A Different Joy, The Parent's Guide to Living Better with Autism, Dyslexia, ADHD and more. And today I want to talk to you about autonomy, independence and control, and what a good outcome is and why it matters. I was really lucky the week before last, doesn't time fly when you're having fun, to be able to go to the National Autistic Society's professional conference and to be a speaker at it. Very exciting. Ta-da! There's my badge. I was really privileged to do that. Because I was there were some of the presenters who were talking a bit about autonomy and about control and about sensory issues and how that worked. And it really got me thinking about what a good outcome is. In the Autism Education Trust, we commissioned a piece of research to say what is a good outcome for autistic people. Because historically, it had always been thought that to live independently was the absolute epitome of what you'd want. It's the real pinnacle of your ambition. That's what you should be aiming for. But what we discovered actually was that the most important thing was to be able to choose for yourself the life you wanted to have, to be involved in that and to have the support you needed to be able to function best. And that thought came back to me again as I was watching some presenters in the last couple of weeks, and I've had time to think about what they were saying now. So I'd like to take you through a couple of thoughts that occurred and things that they said. So the delightful Peter Vermeulen was talking about the way that the brain processes sensory stimuli. And one of the real things that struck me from his presentation was this, which is that the brain does not process stimuli, it only processes what is different from what it expects. Now, the implication of that for our autistic friends, families and colleagues and for ourselves is that it is the things that we don't expect, that we're not warned about, that will cause issues. And this is also shown in another piece of research which he showed, which is around the management of pain. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually see this very clearly, but what this graph here shows is that if you can induce pain through telling people information about it, but you can also reduce or remove pain by forewarning and providing information in advance. And this actually shows that the pain graph here, where people were given the pain first without any warning, the pain scores were higher, they rated the pain higher for the same amount of stimulation than if they were told that they were going to be given pain. And then there's quite a difference there in that curve between the top and the bottom. I think you might be able to see that better there. Yes, there you go. So you can see the difference in the curve there. So that's where they were actually given pain with no warning. That's pain with warning. And there's a massive difference in what's experienced. So I thought you might find that interesting. So the reason why that matters is that it actually makes a big difference to the people that we're working with. It's about preparation, it's about warning, it's about choice, and it's about control. And this theory, this idea came through again when we were listening to Jamie and Lion at the end of the conference. So Peter Vermeulen opened the conference and Jamie and Lion closed it, or in the last sessions. Here's Jamie and here's Lion. And the point that Jamie was making here is that in order to be able to function effectively and to be able to be successful, he has to be in control, in charge of what's happening, but he doesn't have to be the person who is actually doing the steering. And it was just delightful to see him operate, and I was very fortunate to be able to go out and have dinner with him. And what was wonderful was that we were able to have a lovely conversation. It worked beautifully, but it was around the support that he's given it in order to enable him to function. He didn't need to make choices for himself as long as he's in control of what those choices might be and what the options might be. And that was fantastic. It was a really privileged position. And in his speech he said that actually, this is one for the Trekkies amongst us, that it's far more important to be in control, to be in charge, than it is to actually manage all of the various different elements. And if you think about the way that lots of really successful businessmen have worked throughout their lives, they don't actually have to work out what to eat, what to wear. Steve Jobs, for example, always wore a black polo neck and jeans. That way he never needed to make a decision. His decision-making capacity wasn't distracted by saying, oh, well, today I'm going to have to wear a yellow cardigan, so I've got to wear something that goes with it, and I've got to wear the right jewellery that goes with it. He didn't do any of that stuff. And he had people who would cook for him, clean for him, provide things for him. So people who are functioning at a more successful level delegate that amount of decision making. You could argue he's not independent because he couldn't necessarily make himself a meal, but he doesn't need to be. That is not the important thing for him. And then Jamie and Lyman, who was finishing, was talking about the amount of capacity that he has. We've talked about energy accounting elsewhere and in some of our other videos. I've talked about managing your capacity to do things. And he was talking about the 6 spoons he has. He can do amazing things, absolutely amazing things. He's been involved in all of these utterly stunning pieces of code for the BBC that have been used by approximately 1/3 of the population of the world. But he doesn't have the capacity to manage that and daily care tasks. So there are lots of tasks that he would just delegate to someone else so that he can do the things that matter to him and are important to him. And that's fantastic. It's about not having to do both of those, but it's all about control, and it's about the ability to choose which of those things you do. So we need to support people with what they actually need to have. And that may not be what you might expect. I just thought that was particularly interesting. And when we're thinking about the interventions that we put in place, the support that we provide, sometimes I think we try and push young people towards being independent. But do they really need that? Is that what's actually going to help them? And how much independence is important? Or is it autonomy? Is it the ability to be able to choose, the capacity to be able to do that, and to have a real say and be listened to when they're saying exactly what they need? And I think that's far more important. And we're coming back to the elements of control. If you can control your environment, if you know what's coming, if you can predict what that is, if you have the capacity to leave, if you're not being forced to do things that you can't cope with doing, if you're not being forced into an intervention that doesn't allow you to move or forces you to behave completely neurotypically all the time, that's going to reduce your autonomy, it's going to reduce your ability to make a choice, and it's going to force all your decision-making space, all your time, all your capability into coping with that, not into developing the things that you actually need to know. So I think we need to think really carefully about that. So that's all I have for you today. Nice quick one, hopefully. I'm really excited to say that the new website is up and running. So this is a soft launch. They say the soft launch. So please go and have a look. There's lots of information there for you. And for the first time, it actually puts everything in place. So we've got the Different Joy Academy, which is a monthly training program where you can pay a subscription. You get more in-depth training and support and tools and techniques every month, so you can sign up for that if you wish. And then there's also, you can buy a copy of the Different Joy there, or if you need particular help one-on-one, then there is the capacity for me to do that for you, either as a consultant or as a coach. So go along and have a look, but please, if you're on YouTube now, hit the like button, hit the bell, ring the bell, click subscribe. It really matters to me, and I'd love to know what you think about control. What thing has made the biggest possible difference to you in your independence, your autonomy, and what you need to control in order to feel good? Leave me a hint, drop me a comment in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. Look forward to speaking to you soon. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.